doing fine. It's a living life.
Namaste, friends, and welcome back to The Way Om. My name is Sarah, and I'm going to be your instructor for this yoga circuit. So today, what I have prepared for you all is just 3 simple yoga postures, which I've taken and turned into somewhat of a yoga circuit training. So we're going to go through this sequence one time through, and then I'm going to leave it up to you, the practitioner, to decide if you want to repeat this many times over. So what I would recommend personally is 3 to 5 times in total. That should be effective for you all. And if you need a warm-up before this, if you prefer to warm up before we get into this circuit, I'm going to have linked down below 2 videos for you to check out. One is my Sun Salutation A class and my Sun Salutation B class. Those are going to be effective warm-ups, common warm-ups that you're going to see in a more studio community style class, okay? So if you want a warm-up before this, feel free to check that out down below. For this practice in particular, what I have prop-wise, I have a yoga block here that you're going to need for this practice, and then I also have my yoga blanket. So we are going to be gliding on a firm surface. So as you could probably see, I'm on a hardwood floor, and you can use socks if you don't have a blanket available. If you are not on a firm surface, I'm going to throw out a modification that you can take in lieu of just gliding on the floor. So no worries there. So go ahead and grab your props and meet me on your mat. Like I said, this isn't a traditional style flow. It's more of just a circuit training with more of a yogic flair to it, okay? So let's go ahead and make our way into gate pose. I'm gonna start out by balancing on my left knee to begin, and then I'm gonna find extension through my right leg. So I'm gonna bring my arms out wide like a T. And then from here, I'm gonna take this stretch up and over the right leg to start. Just a nice simple stretch, gate pose. All right, and then from here, friends, you see that I have my prop nice and at the ready. I'm gonna use that for support from my left hand, and we're gonna go right into our circuit here. So what I'm calling gate pose crunches. I may have to come up with a more clever name for this one. Maybe you guys can help me out in the comments. So from here, I'm gonna bring my arm extended out beside me, and then this is gonna be an inhale. We'll crunch in. Exhale, let's revisit gate. Inhale and exhale, inhale and exhale, and inhale and exhale. Let's go for 2 more. Inhale, exhale. So feeling this in the oblique, definitely getting into the outer hip as well. Let's just do 1 more, why not? Gorgeous. And then let's take this up and over into our stretch gate pose once again. Well done. Now from here, let's go ahead and take this block to the other side. And you don't have to do this with the block, you know, and you could definitely play around with the different heights, right, of the prop too. So really up to you. So let's go ahead and take this over to the opposite side. So bringing the arms out wide, let's take this over into a stretch just to start. Great. All right, and then from here, let's go ahead and plant our right hand down firmly, bringing that left arm up and over, and then on your next inhalation, let's take it into a crunch. Good, exhale, and inhale, and exhale, inhale, and exhale, inhale, and exhale. Let's go for 2. Inhale and exhale, and inhale and exhale. Gorgeous. We'll take it up and over once again, gate pose. All right. We'll take our time coming out of that one. Now, in between, if you want to take child's pose as a way to rest, however you want to rest, sometimes like I like just to kind of curl my back toes under and just take a moment that way. So it's really just up to you how you want to find like a 30-second rest. And again, today's class is not strictly a flow per se. It's more of just a circuit by playing around with the yoga poses. Okay, So as I mentioned before, we are going to be using the blanket to slide on a firm surface. Now, if you do not have a firm surface to work with, you can definitely just take regular plank, whether that's up right here for 5 rounds of breath or coming down onto the forearms, or if you want to be extra fancy, you can play with coming down and finding that contraction right in the core. But if you have the lovely privilege of being on a firm surface, we're gonna have some fun here. So I'm gonna take my blanket to the back end of my mat here. I'm gonna start off in a crouch position. And if you wanna watch how I'm doing this first, feel free, but we're just gonna go for 5. That's all we're doing. So starting off in this crouch position, placing my weight into the hands, I'm gonna press my feet back behind me into plank. That's 1. Exhale. Let's go for 2. And exhale. And 3. And exhale. 4. And exhale. And 5. Exhale. Take a moment, like I said. I like to just kneel, kind of like in a hero's pose, with my back toes under. If you want to take child's pose and rest in between sets, you can. Well, let's just take a moment here just to gather ourselves, come back to our breath. And basically we have one more sequence of poses for this yoga circuit. All right. So when you're ready, I'm gonna set this off to the side. We are gonna meet supine. So on our back. All right, and what I love about this variation, I'm gonna show you, it's a really good way to practice. If you're someone that wants to work on arm balances and inversions such as handstand, as crow, side crow, this is a really good one to add into your practice, and I'm gonna tell you why. Okay, so I'm gonna come here onto my back here, starting off in a supine position. And yeah, let's bring the block with us just for added engagement. So what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna lift my arms off the floor, I'm gonna lift my feet off the floor. So essentially, right, this like hollowing action here is handstand. It's just you're on your back, okay? And we're gonna actively squeeze the block back behind us. So it's gonna look something like this, friends. So it's gonna be an inhale here, just hovering and holding off the floor. Exhale, curl in, bring that block up towards the ceiling. This is more or less gonna be your crow pose, right? Or if I was taking it this way, this would be crow pose. But just for today, let's go ahead and use the block. So meet me on your back and let's make our way into our handstand, but on our backs. So inhale and exhale, crow. Inhale, let's go for 5. Exhale, drawing the navel in. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, exhale, inhale, and exhale. Good. Inhale. I think this is our last one. Sorry, I lost count. And exhale. All right, let's go ahead and set our props off to the side. We'll hug our knees in towards our chest, rocking side to side here. Beautiful, beautiful job. Now we're gonna take this into a variation of side crow. So traditionally, again, I'm doing this for my back, but side crow would look like this configuration here, right? With the forearms to the outside of the right thigh or the left thigh. So how this is going to look, we'll come back into our handstand on our back. Exhale, we'll take it up and over towards the right hand corner here, getting into the oblique. Handstand. And then exhale, okay? So when you're ready, let's go ahead and make our way there into handstand. On your next inhale, we'll stay here. Exhale, crow pose, or side crow, I should say. Inhale, exhale, side crow. Inhale, and exhale. Inhale, and exhale. Inhale. I'm definitely feeling this, guys. Exhale. Inhale and exhale. Last one. Inhale, exhale over. Inhale, left, and inhale, exhale. We'll set that off to the side. Let's hug our knees in towards our chest. Take a moment again, come back to your breath. So what I walked you through, just to recap what we covered, we did our gate pose crunches, we did our plank poses, right? So gliding plank pose, and then we also did handstand and crow and side crow, but from a supine position. As I mentioned before, I'm gonna leave it up to you, my friends, as to how many times you'd like to repeat this. If you need to watch this video over again, feel free. And like I said, I will have linked down below those 2 warm-up sequences for you to view. And also some recommendations. So for cooling down, especially if this is all you're doing, what I would recommend taking maybe like a modified bridge pose at the end, or like a more passive bridge like I'm showing here with a prop underneath, just to release the front of the belly. And then of course I would take some twist, okay? So right and left side for a cool down for sure, okay? But like I said before, I'm gonna leave it up to you, friends, how you would like to cool down, how many times you'd like to run through this. And yeah, let me know in the comments if you enjoyed this class and if this helped you in developing a strong toned core. Thank you guys as always for your attention and your intention of being here and practicing with me. Until next time, namaste.